Luis Machito, a lawyer, advocate, and educator who spent his career fighting for disenfranchised communities. Over the last few years, Luis has represented refugees and immigrants across the nation and around the world, and he's shown that LGBTQ immigrants are as much as important as anybody else. From the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees to the Florence Immigrant and Refugee Rights Project in Arizona to the Bronx Defenders, his work has made a difference. In fact, earlier this year, when Donald Trump issued his Muslim ban, Luis went to JFK Airport, fought against these backwards executive order, and won the release of 5 individuals. But he didn't stop with that victory. He pushed on. And his work was part of the legal decision that blocked the executive order. In addition, since he's not busy enough, he also works as a teaching fellow at the Immigration Justice Clinic at Cardozo Law School. It's no surprise that he works hard for his clients because not long ago, he was in their shoes. In 2009, he became a refugee in the United States after being persecuted in Ecuador because of his sexual orientation. He knows what's at stake, and he's fighting back. I am really so proud to honor and recognize everything you've accomplished from the UN to federal court. You are a role model for the next generation of Americans, wherever they come from. Let's give a big round of applause. This will hang in your law office for all the world to see. The Control and Proclamation.
Look in here. Hello, New York. Hello. First of all, I want to thank Controller Scott Stringer and his office for this great honor. It's definitely, I'm truly humbled by it, and I'm grateful for it, and it's definitely going to be a motivation for me to continue to do the work that I do. As an immigration lawyer, I also want to take this opportunity to publicly thank Controller Stringer for an action taken by your office at the beginning of this month. As President Trump embraces draconian and inhumane criminal on immigration policies, thanks to the work of Comptroller Stringer, New York City became the first major public pension system in the nation to fully divest from private prison companies. Wow. This means that our city's pension system is no longer profiting from the pain, injustice, and suffering from people behind bars. I highlight this accomplishment because it shows that there are many things that our state and local elected officials can do in order to protect our most vulnerable brothers and sisters from all sorts of injustices currently being pushed by this administration. The truth is that Pride is about the celebration of the survival of a group of people, us, a group of people who have historically been oppressed, from regulating who we can have sex with, to which bathroom we can go to the clothing we're supposed to wear, to who we can love. Our community has and continues to withstand all sorts of forms of oppression. I think that the words of Judge Davis, in a recent opinion in the case of Gavin Grimm, the transgender boy who was asked the federal courts to get his school to treat him just like any other boy, are appropriate here, and I'm going to paraphrase. Our country has a long and embarrassing history of discriminating against our most vulnerable and powerless. However, we have an equally long history of brave individuals like Dred Scott, Fred Korematsu, Linda Brown, Mildred and Richard Loving, Edie Windsor, and Jane Obergefell, just to name a few. All people who refused to accept quietly the injustices that were perpetrated against them. It is unsurprising, of course, that the burden of confronting and remedying injustice falls on the shoulders of the oppressed. These individuals looked to the courts and vindicate their claims to human dignity, But as the name, as mentioned, made it clear, their claims were not always successful. So as we celebrate Pride Week, let's not only celebrate the winners and the people who eventually prevailed. Let's also celebrate the people who lost. The people who fought for the level of dignity and liberty and equality we're all able to enjoy today, but to whom our courts and our nation rejected. And I say level of dignity and liberty and equality because our community still doesn't enjoy the full version of any of those. There are many battles to fight, and as Judge Davis put it, those battles will unfortunately fall on the most oppressed within us. So today, let's make a commitment of solidarity and full support to the members of our community who will be shouldering those battles, to transgender women of color, to people of color in general, to immigrants, to the incarcerated, and to the poor. It will be thanks to their suffering, their bravery, and their formidable resilience that one day, and believe me, that day will come, we will finally enjoy full dignity and equality. So cheers to them. Happy Pride.